Let's go into the forwards, Omar, and we'll start with Charlie Combs.
Yeah, Charlie came really recommended by Bo. Watched them play a lot throughout the year. He played about 15 games, I think. Watched some college games that he was at Michigan. A guy that has an act to the net, got a great shot. He's got good vision. He's a good offensive player. He works hard, and you know what? He's a guy that has a bit of creativeness to his game. And again, you want to have a good balanced team, and you need guys that will bring that offense. And I'm confident that Charlie, has that and more. And for his first year pro, I'm excited to see what he has. But again, I like this team a lot, and he's a player that I think will do well in this league.
Yeah, I mean, the fans love it as well. We all love it, Omar, don't worry. But next guy we'll go with Gabriel Desjardins. Let's talk about him.
Yeah, Gab is a guy that came in earlier this summer, and talking about maybe a bit more leadership at the front, maybe a bit more experience. And we've seen everybody's seen his stats at the ECHL level, and we're going to put him in a position where, again, he's going to be one of our guys up front that we would hope for him to have success offensively. He's got a great shot. He's got really good speed. He's a guy that scored, I think, 30 goals in the ECHL a few years back, so he's got a good mind to the net. But what I really wanted, and it's interesting, it's kind of like Bo too. I thought Bo was probably our best forward, but Bo was also the hardest working guy, the guy that competed the hardest. And that's what I like about Desjardins too. He's a guy that has that offensive upside, but he competes extremely hard. I mean, he was a captain in juniors with that team in the junior major, and you look at guys that are in the NHL right now. So he has that leadership ability, and also those leadership skills he had in this ECHL and even in Europe.
Apologies if anyone can hear my dogs, by the way. They're starting to make noises in the background. Not as bad as cats, Omar, but still causing a few problems. Let's go for Spencer and talk about him.
Yeah, Spencer. I think when you look at the centerman position with Spencer, is really simple. I really wanted a two-way center. A guy that competes on both sides of the rink, a guy that skates really well, a guy that has that hockey IQ. And for Spencer, listen, he has that, and he has that and more. And again, you talk about character, another guy that's been a leader, that's been a captain, so I think he has a lot of offensive abilities too. And I think he'll complement a lot of the players he plays with, because he has that both sense of the ice. He's responsible. I think, you look back at the years when we had guys like that, a guy like Brian Hart, he had a lot of success on both sides of the ice, and he scored some, big goals for us, and he provided offensively. And for Goro, I think he will do the same. And I'm really excited. His first year in Europe too, so it's going to be good to see how he gets along and how he adjusts to the league. But I'm sure it will be a quick one for him.
Well, we talked about Inge before, but yeah, let's talk about Craig Garigan next.
Gaz. Oh, Gaz is another one I saw in Dundee, and I'm really excited to see what he has this year. And I've seen him at the series in Nottingham. I'm sure everybody has. He was extremely important for that team with the depth, and that's one thing that I wanted to make sure when we sign him back, we use him more. And that's one of our goals. I don't know how it's going to be from the first day. I don't know, guys will arrive on time or no, but I certainly want to make sure that Craig gets a bit more responsibility, because he deserves it. And he's worked hard in the offseason. I've seen him, he's bulked up, and you watch him in practice, and I really think he's got a bright future. He's a great kid. I think this club is really looking forward to see where he can take his game now. And his skating ability, I'm just working with him in practice there the last few weeks, and the way he shoots the puck, the way he moves on the ice. So again, another guy that I think will take the next step. And again, with you look at hockey these days, and we're all naive to think you're going to win with 2 players or 3 players up front. And the fact that we have him as a depth guy, but also a guy that can be anywhere and everywhere in the lineup is completely priceless. And that's one of the aspects why we thought it was extremely important to get him back.
Summed that up perfect, Omar. Let's go for Timmy next.
Yeah, Timmy is an interesting one. Timmy is a guy that I'll say it. Dryden put him in my shop window. I guess he said you got to have a look at him, and I think I watched a few games of him, and I was sold. I mean, his speed, his size, his tenacity. A guy that could play at every position on the ice up front. Again, when you talk about building team, and we talk about the balance of our team, and we needed a bit more size, and we'll get to that, I'm sure, with the next few guys, but I wanted a guy with size, with strength, that plays hard, and Timmy has that, and he can make plays as well. The one thing is, and again, Timmy won himself, and I've said that to him, he won himself a position by that playoff performance they had with Dryden, and if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I even look at him. But the fact that he stepped up in big games, the fact that he was their best player in the playoffs, really made me look at him in depth. And after the references and after speaking to other people about him, I think he was the right character guy again for us. And he's a guy that will compete. And that's, again, with that size, and the guy that can skate with that size is extremely important.
Now, we talked about the frustrations that Adam Morrison caused us previously. The next guy, Dylan Lawrence, another fan's favourite for different reasons when he wasn't a star. But yeah, Dylan Lawrence, let's talk about what he brings. Yeah,
Dylan, I think you summed it up there, right? We were sick of him scoring goals against us, and I don't know how, hopefully he's going to pick the 9 other teams this year, right? No, again, centerman position, natural centerman. That's one of the things that I really wanted to pinpoint from the start. He's a guy that, was hard to play against. He's got that size. He's got the strength. He skates well for a big guy. He moves the puck well. He's got a great shot. And, he's a guy that will be able to bring a bit more than maybe he used to, because he might get, again, all the players will have to, have a internal competition to get more responsibilities or to get more ice. But he's a guy that certainly will push that. And I think that with the role we're looking at him, I think he will have, a bigger opportunity to put himself in that, in that window, in that driver's seat. And he's a guy that hurt us, and the reasons why he's hurt us is because he's good in that position. He's good down the middle. He's hard to play against, and that's what we want for him this year. Again, all my centermen have to be this year two-way centermen, and he's good defensively, and that's good for us to have as well.
Yeah, fans don't hate bad players, Omar, when they play for oppositional teams.
Yeah.
That's it. Let's go for Alex next. Now, there was loads of when we put his promo video together. What way are we going to swing this one? Lots of Ranger stuff. But anyway, Alex, apart from the promo video, speak about him.
No, Alex is again, when we talk about recruitment, I think that early on there was a few aspects of guys that we pinpointed early that we wanted to get done quick, and Alex is a guy that I think work ethic, I think hard to play against, I think physical, and I think a guy that was a bit snake bitten in the last, not necessarily snake bitten, but I think this league will be a perfect fit for him because he plays hard, he plays the right way, he's aggressive, he plays on a penalty kill, he's a guy that can play on power play too. He can play in situations. He's got offensive abilities. I mean, he scored many points in juniors, and watching him, last few years, and he took the year off this year. He didn't play, obviously, and I think that rejuvenated him too, and his love for the game, and he wants to come back. And again, one of those guys that's really annoying to play against, and that's what we wanted. We wanted a bit of mixture of everything, and he's got a bit of mixture of that. And also he has bit of offense. Well, he's got offense to his game as well. So, when you build a team, again, you want that balance, and he brings something that, I don't think we necessarily had at the time. I think we have a bit of that now, a bit more, and enough to build our team, right? The guys that are hard to play against, and he's certainly one of those guys. And I think he's a guy that will influence other guys into working and to play that way too. And he's got good leadership skills as well. So again, another guy that, like I said, everybody is when you recruit the team and you're happy with them, I think every coach loves their team in August and September. So right now, that's a good point. But for him, I'm confident he'll be a great fit.
Well, talking of love, a lot of love from our fans when you announced our latest Brit, Cali Robertson. Just how excited were you with that?
Yeah, really. But that came out of the blue. That came out of somebody reached out about Cali, and we didn't have plan necessarily for that. We had a few plans to bring in some junior guys to our camp, but we didn't have plan to have 12 forwards. So it would be one healthy scratch or one spare, or however you want to say it, 20-man roster. We didn't have plans for that, but when Cali's name came up and I had an opportunity to speak to him, we opened up the position, and we felt that with COVID, with depth that we've seen in the past, that with maybe potential suspension, whatever it could be, it's always good to have, and also that internal competition within the guys. I thought it was really important to go with Cali, and to again, he's a young kid. He was an under-20s player. He's a guy that has that potential. He skates well. He sees the ice well. He's got that offensive ability. So, we were looking forward to working with him and to see where he can take his next game and his game to the next level. And again, we want to give, here in Dundee, we try to push our young Brits. We try to give them opportunities, and he's a guy that's going to have to earn it. But listen, at the end of the day, he's going to practice with us every day. He's going to jump in the lineup when we need him. But he's part of this team. And again, when you talk about teams, you can watch at the EIHL, you watch in any league. There's sometimes guys coming in and out of the lineup that are massive assets to the team on that night. And I'm hoping to create that mindset here that doesn't matter who's in or who's out. It just matters, what we do on the night. And I think we needed a guy like that. And I think Cali, as a young Brit, hopefully we can help him improve his game as well.
Yeah, 100%. Huge opportunity for him here at Dundee. As you say, British players have always had an opportunity at Dundee, and I think it's one thing that the club can be proud of, that the opportunity is there. And if he works hard, I'm sure he'll have a successful time. Let's talk about the next player, Toms Rutkus.
Yeah, Tom's another player that we've seen in the past, a player that played at an organization. Again, there's a lot of things, I think we talked about Marcus earlier. We talked about other players winning championships, and he was part of the Cardiff Devils. So again, he's a guy that's learned how to win. He's a guy that's been around, and been around a lot of good hockey players in Cardiff, obviously. And he's a guy that I like the way he skates. I like the way he plays. He's a guy that plays hard. He uses his size well. He puck protects pretty well too. He's a guy that I think still needs to work on a few things, like every single young player in this league. But again, we wanted depth, and there's a guy that right there that can log minutes for us. And I mean, he is something that, early on in the summer, again, that we pinpointed that, if we're going to, with the 19-player roster size or whatever, we wanted to use all our bench. And he's a guy that I really trusted to log in minutes. And he's a good kid, and he's really excited to come over. He's excited about the opportunity. And again, we're excited to see what he's got from day one. But he's a guy that I know has been trying to skate as much as he could. He's a guy that's in great shape. So again, he's going to be a good fit for us.
Phillip Songe.
Well, to start off with Phillip, when you have a junior team that names a trophy after him, it's a positive start, right? A junior team that has success and that named it, again, like I said, that just speaks volume of the kid itself, the character he has. So we don't even need to go into depth. Like, the guy has a trophy after himself. So for Phillip, he's a guy that started off early in the summer, thought I had him, didn't have him, and we worked, kept reaching out to his agent a few times. And then off the blue, I think we clicked with the earlier conversations, and and we got it done. So right-handed shot guy that put up good numbers in junior, guy that put up good numbers in CIS, guy that's consistent, guy has offensive ability, guy's hard to play against. He's annoying. He's a rat. He's a guy that can do it all. Him and Charlie are not the biggest guys, but I think their work ethic will be good. And Phillip is a bit more grittier in that sense than other guys on the team. But I think he's going to be a really. I think the fans will like him. Put it that way. They like always the wee guys.
They will. Now, has he got something in his contract where he has to go home to present that trophy to the next winner, or is that just...
I don't know. I just saw that initially when I was first recruiting, and I thought that was pretty cool. But no, again, I think with these young guys coming out of that level of plays, again, from Beauregard, from suggesting Combs, and Beauregard suggesting Sanche too, and he's been a great help. Bowen and Dorowich, now that I think of it. So, but I think he'll be a really good player for us.
Yeah, and we'll go finally with Connor Sills, who, of course, everyone knew of.
Yeah, Connor is, again, when recruited early in the summer, and he's a guy that wanted to come back here. He obviously didn't play. He was a bit unlucky in the situation he was in last year. Obviously, him and Mike know each other too, and those two guys, maybe didn't end up where they would have wanted to, because they wanted to come here and we wanted them to come here. But for Connor, another 6'3" guy that's, he's hard player to play against. And the thing with Connor is I like, and the reason why I really went to him last year is his versatility. He can play on the left, he can play on the right, he can play in the middle. And also the way he plays. And the big thing for him was he was maybe the prototypical tough guy, or whatever you want to call it, in juniors, but he really developed his game at the youth sports level with Ottawa. And again, him and Mike coming from a program for Ottawa, a guy like Sanche that we just talked about, coming from those programs, those guys are well coached, well trained, and they know what it takes to win. And Silsey is that too. And the recommendation I got from him, same coach I recommended Mike, were great, and watched him play a ton, but too much, because I guess I watched him last year too. But again, he was one of the first guys I really wanted back. And again, the size with him is a factor, and that we want him back, and the ability to play hard, to play tough. But again, he's another guy, like I said, when we talk about balance, he's got that balance, and I think he will surprise a lot of people offensively too.